What you see around you right now is not the final truth of your life. It is only the echo of old thoughts, past beliefs, and yesterday's assumptions. It is a picture of a moment that has already passed. It is a snapshot of a version of your mind that you no longer have to live with. One of the biggest mistakes you can make is to look at this picture and decide that it is permanent. It is not. What you see today does not have to define what you experience tomorrow. The deeper truth is found in the quiet world within you. Your outer world may show you a reflection of your inner state, but that reflection does not always appear instantly. There is a delay between the inner change and the outer result. So if you want tomorrow to look different, you must stop allowing today to control the way you feel. This is where everything begins. Your circumstances will try to get your attention. They will speak loudly. They will point at what is missing. They will remind you of what has already happened. You are allowed to choose something new. You are allowed to imagine a different ending. But the present is not a reliable guide to your future. It only knows what has already happened. And if you stay with this idea, the next part becomes even more important. The world around you may appear convincing because your senses are constantly showing you evidence. Your eyes see what is there. Your ears hear what is happening. Your mind quickly creates a story around it. But do not make the mistake of believing that every visible condition is a permanent fact. What you see is simply what has already been set in motion. It is yesterday's thinking showing up today. If you do that, you will keep repeating the same emotional pattern. Instead, begin choosing your inner position first. Assume that the thing you desire is already fulfilled. Imagine yourself as the person who has already received it. Walk through your day with that quiet knowledge. You do not need to shout about it. You do not need to prove it to anyone. You simply carry the feeling within you. When you wake up in the morning, take a moment to feel the satisfaction of already having what you desire. Let your inner picture become more important than the temporary picture outside you. At first, your senses may disagree. They may show you an account balance you do not like. They may show you a relationship that has not yet changed. They may show you a life that does not seem to match your vision. But stay calm. Do not panic. These things are not commands. They are simply reminders of what has been. And what has been does not have to become what will be. Your current circumstances are not a measurement of your worth. They are not proof of your limits. Think of your present reality as an old photograph. You can look at it, but you do not have to become it. You can recognize it without giving it power. You can understand where it came from without allowing it to decide where you are going. The past may still be visible, but that does not mean the past is still in control. Just as a shadow follows behind the person who creates it, your outer circumstances can work in much the same way. They may still carry the shape of an older state, even after you have decided to move into a new one. This is why you must stop asking the present, "What should I believe?" Instead, ask yourself, "What do I choose to believe now?" That question changes everything. The moment you stop treating circumstances as instructions, you begin to take back your attention. You stop allowing every disappointing event to pull you into fear. You stop letting one difficult day become a prediction for your entire life. You begin to understand that the present is only one frame in a much larger story. And if the frame does not look the way you want, you do not have to destroy the entire story. You simply choose the next frame. Keep this in mind, because this small shift can completely change the way you move through your days. Your outer world is often one step behind your inner world. By the time you can see, hear, or touch a result, many thoughts and decisions have already helped create the direction you are experiencing. This is why reacting to every present condition can keep you trapped in the same cycle. You see something you dislike, you become afraid. The fear changes your state, and then you begin expecting more of the same. The pattern repeats. But you can interrupt that pattern. You can choose not to emotionally follow every piece of unwanted evidence. You can say, "This is what I see right now, but it is not the final picture." Then you return to the vision you have chosen. This is where persistence matters. Not forced persistence, not desperate repetition, quiet persistence. The kind that says, "I know what I have decided, and I will not allow a temporary picture to make me abandon it." The wise creator does not allow the current scene to dictate the emotional state of tomorrow. They stop asking, "What if it never happens?" and begin asking, how would I feel if it were already mine? Stay with that question. Let it take you somewhere new, because this is where your inner world begins to change. Imagine that your present reality is like a letter that was mailed some time ago. You can open the letter and read it, but you cannot change the words that have already been sent. The only way to receive a different letter in the future is to write something new now. This is the attitude you need toward your circumstances. Do not spend all your energy arguing with an old message. Do not keep rereading the same painful page and calling it your destiny. You have another page available. You can write a different story within yourself. When something unwanted appears, you do not need to fight it, you do not need to hate it, you do not need to become angry at yourself for creating an old pattern. Simply recognize it. See it as evidence of where your mind once stood, then move forward. Say to yourself, that was the old story. I am choosing a new one now. This is not about denying what your eyes can see. It is about refusing to make what you see the master of what you feel. If you spend your inner life rehearsing disappointment, you become familiar with disappointment. But if you begin rehearsing fulfillment, peace, confidence, gratitude, and success, you become more comfortable living from that state. This is why the practice must become natural. You are not trying to force the universe. You are training yourself to stop returning to the old identity. And once you understand that, you will see why reacting less can sometimes create more change. You no longer panic every time something unwanted appears. You no longer rush to control every detail outside yourself. Instead, you return to the state you have chosen. You remember what you decided. You remember who you are becoming. You allow the outer world to take the time it needs to catch up with the inner change. This is the power of releasing the old. You do not have to fight yesterday. You do not have to spend your energy proving that yesterday was wrong. You simply stop living there. The old reality may still appear for a while, but you do not have to emotionally move back into it. This is detachment. It is not coldness. It is not pretending. It is simply knowing that a temporary condition does not deserve permanent authority over your mind. Thank the old experience for showing you what you no longer want. Learn from it, then release it. You are not required to carry every old belief into your future. You can leave some thoughts behind. You can leave some fears behind. You can leave old expectations behind, and perhaps this is the part most people miss. You do not need to wait for the outer world to give you permission to feel different. You can begin now. You can become familiar with the feeling of your chosen life before there is physical evidence of it. Keep listening, because this is where persistence becomes your greatest strength. Persistence does not mean spending every minute checking whether the result has appeared. It does not mean constantly asking, is it working yet? That question keeps your attention focused on the absence of what you want. Instead, persistence means returning to the fulfilled state whenever you notice yourself slipping into the old one. If doubt appears, gently return. If fear appears, return. How would they speak to themselves? How would they respond when something went wrong? Would they immediately assume that everything was lost? Or would they remain steady because they knew one moment did not define the entire journey? Become familiar with that version of yourself. See yourself already living from that identity. Feel the quiet confidence of having moved beyond the old story. Let your imagination become a place where your future is not something you chase, but something you already experience. You need to stop giving every temporary circumstance the power to change your mind. The world may move slowly. That is okay. Your job is not to force the timing. Your job is to remain faithful to the state you have chosen. And if you keep doing that, something inside you becomes stronger. You stop needing constant evidence. You stop checking every hour. You begin to live with a quiet certainty that your inner direction matters more than a temporary snapshot. There will be moments when your senses try to pull you back. You may see numbers that worry you. You may experience distance where you wanted closeness. You may notice things about your life that still look unchanged. You may notice things about your life that still look unchanged. In those moments, remember what you are practicing. You are not practicing blindness. You are practicing a new response. You are learning not to allow an old picture to control a new state. You can acknowledge what is happening and still choose your inner position. You can take practical action where action is needed while refusing to build your identity around fear. You can handle today without surrendering your vision for tomorrow. This balance matters. Your life is not improved by constant panic. It is improved by clear thought, steady action, and a mind that does not keep returning to the same hopeless story. So when the old picture appears, smile at it if you can. See it as something that belongs to an earlier chapter. Do not wrestle with it. Do not stare at it for hours. Do not keep asking why it is still there. Simply turn your attention toward the life you are choosing. Imagine the conversation you want to have. Imagine the room you want to enter. Imagine the peace you want to feel. Imagine waking up and realizing that the thing you once worried about is no longer a problem. Feel the relief. Feel the gratitude. Feel the normalness of it. The goal is not to make the desire feel distant and impossible. The goal is to become comfortable with the idea that it belongs in your life. And the more familiar that, stop allowing temporary evidence to become a permanent prediction. You do not need to understand every step between where you are and where you want to be. You do not need to know exactly how everything will happen. You only need to remain connected to the end you have chosen, while taking sensible action in the world around you. Let your imagination show you the destination. Let your daily actions support that direction. Let your emotional state become less dependent on what you see in front of you. Then continue. When you go to sleep, do not replay every disappointment from the day. Give your mind a better final scene. See yourself already where you want to be. Feel the peace of completion. Let that be the last picture you carry into sleep. This is how you stop living as a prisoner of yesterday. You stop asking the past for permission to create the future. You stop treating the present as a final verdict. You begin to understand that the person you are becoming does not have to look like the person you used to be. And this is your reminder: the old reality can be visible without being your destiny. It can be present without being permanent. It can speak loudly without being right. You do not have to answer every voice. You only have to keep choosing the one that leads you forward. So keep assuming, keep returning, keep imagining the fulfilled life until it becomes natural to you. Let your inner picture become familiar. Let peace become familiar. Let confidence become familiar. Let gratitude become familiar. Do not keep checking the old photograph and asking whether it has changed yet. Stop measuring your future by a picture created by your past. The old image has already been taken. You are choosing what comes next. If your present circumstances are difficult, remember that they are circumstances, not your identity. If your progress seems slow, remember that slow movement is still movement. That if your senses show you something you do not want, remember that you can respond differently. You are not required to repeat the emotional reaction that created yesterday's pattern. You can choose again, right now, today, in this very moment, and then tomorrow, choose again. This is how the new story becomes stronger, not through one perfect day, and then the outer world begins to reflect the person you have already become within. What once seemed impossible starts to feel normal. What once felt distant starts to feel close. What once required effort starts to feel natural. So remember this whenever you are tempted to surrender to the present. What stands before you is not a measurement of your worth, your potential, or your final destination. It is simply a reflection of what is already becoming your new normal. The old may still be visible for a while, but you do not have to live inside it anymore. Your job is to hold the vision. Everything else is secondary. Ignore the old reality, keep assuming, and keep moving forward. Reality was never giving you the whole truth. It was only showing you what had already happened. Everything begins in the unseen. Before an event appears in your life, before a change can be noticed, the invisible always comes before the visible. Your mind is like fertile soil, and every assumption you carry is a seed placed inside it. You can plant seeds of fear or seeds of faith. The old reality, Shanala, you can plant expectations of failure or expectations of success. You can focus on lack or you can focus on abundance. Whatever you repeatedly nurture has a chance to grow. The world you experience is, in many ways, the result of what you have been cultivating within yourself. Most people make the mistake of judging their entire life by what they can see right now. They forget that visible results are usually the end of a process, not the beginning. A tree does not begin growing when you finally see its branches. It begins within you when you start accepting the possibility of it as real. The inner feeling comes first. The outer evidence follows. This is why you must become careful about the seeds you plant every day. Every thought you repeat with emotion, every belief you accept as true, every story you keep telling yourself is being placed into the fertile ground of your deeper mind. And once something is planted, it can grow quietly, even when you cannot see any movement. Stay with me here, because this simple idea can change the way you look at your entire life. If you spend your days replaying fear, expecting disappointment, thinking about everything that could go wrong, or constantly reminding yourself of your limitations, you are giving water to the wrong seeds. Those mental weeds do not need your permission. They grow wherever attention keeps returning. But you are not powerless. You can choose a different direction. You can decide what you want to cultivate inside yourself. You can begin assuming that your desired outcome is possible, present, and already becoming part of your life. You can hold that assumption with care and return to it each day through your thoughts and feelings. When the outside world seems to disagree with your vision, you can remind yourself that what you see may simply be the leftover result of an older way of thinking. Let it pass. Do not make it your new identity. You do not need to dig into the soil every morning just to check whether the seed is growing. If you keep digging, you interrupt the process. Your responsibility is to nurture the seed. Give it belief, give it patience, give it attention that supports the direction you have chosen. Keep the soil warm with the feeling of the wish already fulfilled. Protect it from constant fear, frustration, and negative expectation. The result does not have to appear instantly. Growth has its own timing. Your role is to create the conditions for growth and remain steady while the process unfolds. And once you truly understand this, you stop feeling completely controlled by circumstances. You begin to realize that the visible world is not the starting point. It is the result of something that began deeper within. The moment you choose a new inner assumption, you have planted a new seed. From there, your task is not to stand at the surface. Imagine that the version of you who has what you want is already real within you. The greatest mistake is to spend your entire day searching the outside world for signs that something has changed. You check, you compare, you measure, you wonder how long it will take. But when you constantly search for evidence, you place yourself in the state of waiting. And when your inner identity remains, I am waiting, you keep reinforcing the feeling that what you want is still somewhere outside of you. So step into the role now. Mentally and emotionally become the person who already experiences the result. Do not simply wish for wealth do not keep repeating the feeling of one day while expecting your inner world to feel complete today. What you repeatedly hold within yourself matters. Not only what you want from a distance, but what you accept as possible and natural in the present. When you assume it is done, your relationship with the desire changes. You stop treating it only as a request and begin relating to it as something you are becoming ready to experience. It means developing an inner state where the idea begins to feel natural. Ask yourself a simple question. If I already had this, how would I think? How would I carry myself? How would I speak? How would I treat myself matters. So how would I respond when something went wrong? Your answers reveal the state you can begin practicing now. At first, this new way of thinking may feel unusual. That is normal. Your outside circumstances may still carry signs of your former state. Your environment may look almost exactly the same. Your bank balance may not have changed yet. Your relationship situation may still look uncertain. Your goals may still seem far away. But do not let temporary appearances decide what you believe is possible. Outer conditions often move more slowly than inner decisions. They are like a shadow following behind the person who creates it. They are like a shadow following behind the person who creates it. They are like a shadow following behind the person who creates it. They are like a shadow following behind the person who creates it. They are like a shadow following behind the person who creates it. They are like a shadow following behind the person who creates it. They are like a shadow following behind the person who creates it. They are like a shadow following behind the person who creates it. They are like a shadow following behind the person who creates it. They are like a shadow following behind the person who creates it. They are like a shadow following behind the person who creates it. They are like a shadow following behind. This is where many people give up too soon. They change their thinking for a few days, look outside, see no immediate difference, and return to the old story. Then they wonder why nothing changed. But growth does not always announce itself immediately. Some of the most important changes begin where you cannot see them. A seed under the soil looks like nothing is happening, yet something is already moving. Your inner shift can work the same way. You may not have evidence yet. Fighting it keeps your attention locked onto it. Instead, acknowledge it and move forward. The old scene can exist without becoming the center of your emotional world. This is one of the most powerful shifts you can make. And the next part is where it becomes practical. Think of your mind as the director and your life as the stage. The director decides what scene is being rehearsed, what role is being played, and what story is being emphasized. If you repeatedly rehearse failure, begins to feel normal. If you rehearse confidence, peace, success, and fulfillment, those states become more familiar as well. You are constantly rehearsing something. The question is, what are you rehearsing? Are you imagining everything going wrong? Are you preparing yourself for rejection? Are you expecting another disappointment? Or are you quietly becoming familiar with the version of life you actually want? You do not need to spend every hour imagining. You simply need to become aware of your repeated patterns. When an old thought appears, you can choose not to follow it. When fear tells you that nothing will change, you can answer with a different assumption. When circumstances tell you to give up, you can remember that circumstances are not always immediate reflections of your current direction. You can say, "This is what I see right now, but it is not the only thing that can happen." Then return to your chosen state. Keep going. Keep practicing. Keep planting. The goal is not perfection. The goal is direction. You are teaching yourself to stop automatically returning to the old story. Every time you redirect your attention, you strengthen a different mental pathway. Every time you refuse to feed the unwanted, you give more room to what you want to grow. And if you have been wondering why your inner state matters so much, this is the reason. Your repeated thoughts influence your expectations, your actions, your choices, and the way you interpret what happens around you. So stop treating the visible world as if it is the only authority over your future. It can show you where things stand today, but it cannot tell you everything about where you are going. A difficult present does not automatically mean a difficult future. A temporary lack does not have to become a permanent identity. A past mistake does not have to become your lifelong story. You can choose a new assumption and begin living from it mentally now. This is where patience becomes important. If you desire financial improvement, practice thinking from greater stability rather than constantly rehearsing fear. If you desire meaningful connection, practice feeling worthy of healthy connection rather than constantly expecting rejection. If you want greater confidence, begin speaking to yourself like someone who respects their own value. If you want peace, stop making every temporary problem a prediction of disaster. Your inner state should become a place you can return to, not because you are ignoring life, but because you are refusing to let every outside event control who you are inside. But do not allow temporary circumstances to become the ruler of your emotional life. You can act from the present while holding a different vision for the future. You can face reality without worshipping it. That distinction is powerful. And once you understand it, you stop feeling like you have to wait for life to change before you are allowed to change. There is another important shift here. You are not simply trying to get something. You are becoming someone. Do they panic at every delay? Do they constantly check for proof? Or do they remain grounded because they trust the direction they have chosen? Begin to practice those qualities now. You do not need to wait until everything is perfect. If you want to feel successful, practice the calm confidence of someone who knows they are capable. If you want love, practice treating yourself with the respect you hope to receive. If you want every causes, you are giving yourself permission to live from a different assumption. At first, the old identity may try to return. It may say,